They're going to pay a price. It's their option. That's what I should tell the receivers. It's their option.
Together, we end up filling a void where there were no weaknesses in our attack. At least that's what we like to think about each other.
Did you ever collide at all?
Oh yeah, my hardest collision was when Cliff. We both.
The hardest hit you ever?
Hardest hit I got in my whole career was Cliff on a slant route. What game? Help me. Baltimore.
It was Johnny Knight.
See, I didn't even remember the game.
Yeah, and I remember the defense we were in. It was a double team on the slant route on us, and I read the play perfectly. And it's cut in front of him for an interception, and next thing I know, they were carrying me off the field. It just knocked me slap out, and he just loved it.
Well, I read it perfectly too.
Well,
and we both went for it.
What did Coach Landry say about that? Did he say when you looked at it in the film room? Did he say anything about that?
No, he doesn't generally comment about things like that. He says adjust your aim a little bit and try not adjust your own guys.
What's up, friends? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Wow. I'm getting ready to head up the road. It's been a long couple of days, and we're working on the house. If you've been watching my YouTube channel, you've seen all the stuff that we're working on and doing over there and things like that. And we're going to be going to the Hall of Fame in a few weeks and stuff, and we're going to have a ball there. And of course, this past weekend we had the autograph signing where we saw Drew Pearson, who's going into the Hall of Fame. And I just got finished doing some things that literally I do not believe that I was just blessed to be able to do. Shout out to my man Dave Kraft, because when I tell you what I just did, you're gonna say you're full of shit, you're a liar. That's what you're gonna say. Let me say this, let me preface this with Cliff Harris talks about the player that he enjoys watching the most. And that is actually, and thinks he's really going to break out this year, and that is Dak Prescott. Also, too, Cliff Harris, who's in great shape for the amount of years that he played, 14 years, being the hard hitter that he is in incredible shape, and he talks about some of his teammates that aren't in such good shape. And he breaks down and gets really, really emotional about his father being gone. And I was on the call. Todd Archer was there. Brad Sham was there. I don't have time to redo the whole thing, and in fact, the whole Zoom call, they'll have a link for it, so I'll be able to actually pull all of that. But this is a little taste for you guys. When I get back home, I'll put it all together, and we'll do it as a premiere. But this is something that I have dreamed about all my life, to be able to do something like this. And I can't believe that I got the first question and the last question with Hall of Famer Cliff Harris. I also was in on a call for you Eagle fans, you haters, boo. And I've got a video of that where I actually asked Harold Carmichael a question as well. And of course, like everything, it revolves around the Dallas Cowboys. So take a look at this clip, because this is part of the whole thing.
Dallas Cowboys, Super Bowl, all the way to the Hall of Fame. What's the best part of being in the Hall of Fame now? But first part of the question, favorite player for you to watch today?
All right, so my guy that I liked and I pulled for and is going to come around this year for us is Dak Prescott. And I've been a Dak fan for a long time, and I know that I was so, because he reminds me, this goes back too far. This is probably before your time, but Billy Kilmer, because Billy Kilmer was for the Washington Redskins, and man, he was a good friend of mine. It's funny how so many of the quarterbacks were good friends of mine, Jim Hart and Kilmer and a bunch of those guys. And but he's a winner, he's got a big heart, and I think that it's something that's contagious on a team to have a leader, like we had the great leader of Roger Staubach, to that just an edge, that you have to have that edge of winning. It takes something more than a great team to win a Super Bowl. I mean, gosh, it's just amazing how close teams come, that little bit of an edge, and I think Dak's got that edge. I'm pulling for him. He's the guy that I am pulling for and like to watch the most. How about that? And the small college aspect. What do you mean? What?
Just the best part, just from beginning to end. Your story, honestly, from beginning to end, what's just the best part when you sit back now and you're going in? What's the best part of all of this? The culmination of it.
Wow, that's a heavy duty thought. I still want to get emotional about this, but and you being in the military, my dad. I'm sitting here looking at his. Wish I could show you. I can't. I'm going to show you his. So right here, he was a P-38 pilot. See those? See that flag up there? Can you see that?
Yes, sir.
You know, so that's his. And he had a Purple Heart and Distinguished Flying Cross. So, you know, I mean, I want him to. I feel it, you know. So, I mean, that's something that I really believe. I'd like to have him see this. He was a tough guy. And man, you've got to be a tough guy to fly a P-38, crash in the ocean, survive on a raft for 2 days, and then tested to be a jet test pilot at the end of the war. And he was so excited about it. Gave his physical. He had diabetes. Washed him out of the Air Force. Never flew again. So I got my dream. You know. So I think one thing about me is I'm a passionate guy, and I get choked up, and I'm a tough guy, but also one of those guys that.
You about to get me choked up over here, Mr. Harris. Come on now, sir. Yeah, no, it's all good. But thank you, and like I said, salute to your father. Thank you for taking my question today. Congratulations, Mr. Harris.
Thank you.
Wonderful answer, Cliff. All right, Mark Holmes, you started us off. Let's bring it home.
I am truly blessed today to be talking to you, to start off and to be able to finish. And it's hard to, after going through that emotion, I'm going to try and make you laugh, because when you brought up Dak Prescott and then you start talking about Billy Kilmer, me growing up watching Kilmers, we used to always go in the backyard, and when we throw a duck, and literally the football will be a duck, we say, that's a Kilmer pass. So putting the two of those together, I'm not sure that's the best one.
He could beat you on a duck.
Oh, he would. I hated the Washington football team back in the day. But after having the stellar career that you had, and I'm sure you played football all your life, I know you ended up having business with Charlie Waters, which I'm sure made the transition a lot better, having your teammates still right there with you. How ready were you for football ending? It sounded like with the neck injury, it wasn't something you were expecting. And what would you tell the players going forward here to be prepared for the end of football?
Well, you know, Mark, this is, a different era, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I worked in the off season in the energy business, and I was lucky to have that business, and the guy, Max Williams at U.S. Companies, said, hey, Cliff, thank goodness it's happened, that he said, you've either got to decide whether you're going to work in my business or you're going to go back and play next year. Unbelievably, I don't know what ultimatum like that. And I said, well, you know, my neck was hurt. I was doing real well. I was making more money in the off season than I was for the Cowboys or getting there, and so I retired, and so today the players don't have that necessity to go into a good paying job that I did. They make lots of money right now in pro football, and they can play as long as they want, except for injuries,
Yeah.
And thank goodness that happened. I mean, I've been a blessed guy throughout my life. I really have. I mean, how can a guy from Ouachita Baptist make it to the Pro Football Hall of Fame? I mean, other than being blessed and lucky, I was blessed with having a durability, having a system that I understood, having one that was built for me, the Landry Flex and our defensive system, and I got it. It worked well for me, and then to come out of it healthy today, so if you're making $8 or $9 million, is probably what I'd be making. I think that would be one of a year. So
Yeah.
what's your motivation to quit? I mean, other than being paralyzed from the neck down, and so I don't know what these guys do. I mean, I'd like to know in their heads, like Sean Lee, for the Cowboys. He's such an intense player. I like him. I don't know what is going to be the motivating factor other than he just doesn't play and they're going to cut him, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're going to cut him. So you don't have any option, and they'll play as long as they can so that's, it's just a question of, that's just a different era.
Well, thank you very much. And, without guys like you, there would be no America's team.
Yeah, thank you, Mark.
Thanks, Mark. Thank you, Cliff, for your time.
You bet, Rick.
Everybody's questions answered. You've been very generous with your time. And just a few more weeks, we will see you in Canton, Ohio for
Good deal.
21. It's something that's long overdue.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Rich, very much. I appreciate it. Hope I answered your questions. Good for you guys.
Congratulations, sir.
Congratulations, Mr. Harris.
I can't speak right now.
Go Tigers. Go Tigers.
I can't speak right now.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's the Ouachita Tigers, right?
I literally can't speak right now.
So go, Chris.
I got to go.